Orion Pictures presents Wolfen. For centuries, they have been hiding in the rubble of your cities. The concealed threat. The invisible terror.
Chris!
They can sense the rhythm of your blood. Hear clouds pass overhead. See where you are blind. A force so deadly, it will tear the scream from your throat. Wherever you are, they are.
Somewhere in the world, every other day, a corporate executive is assassinated.
Team her up with Wilson.
There's not a trace, not a speck of metal. Nothing softer could have ripped and ravaged like this.
Is it an animal?
Well, it ain't human. You realize how many people disappeared without a trace? Something out there might be eating people.
Did you hear that?
Get out of there!
What do you think it was?
You were being lured. We were being separated.
By what?
The carnivore. You got yourself some kind of meat eater.
What is it?
It's Wolfen. They're only animals. They might be gods. In their eyes, you are the savage.
Wolfen.
Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek. Remember when trailers used to show you basically the entire film? Well, that was one of them. That was the trailer for Wolfen, which is tonight's Friday night appointment with Fear. It's a 1981 film directed by Michael Wadley, who did very little else, but this is an amazing film, I think. And I think he should have gone on to do more things, but he had a bit of a bad time with this film. Hang on, I'm just faffing. But anyway, that's by the by. Hang on, have I pressed something there? No, I haven't. Right. Where were we? That's by the by. Welcome to the show. And before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, and share the videos, and drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. We're also live. We're live on YouTube. Let me just double check. Yes, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Rumble. And we're live on Twitch. Yes, we're live on those three platforms. Maybe there'll be more platforms in the future. I don't know. Maybe I'll try kick out. I don't know. Oh, we're back again. I got the little spinning thing of doom there. Hopefully we're all right. Right. So, as I said, it's Wolfen from 1981, starring Albert Finney, a British actor playing an American cop. But he does quite well. I mean, the accent sounds fine to me. I don't know. I'm not from New York, so I wouldn't know. But there's an English actor, is Albert Finney, who died quite recently. I think 2019 he passed away. We've also in this film got Edward James Olmos and Gregory Hines are the two most famous other people in the film. But let's have some information on it, shall we? Before we start, it's from Orion Pictures. Remember those? And they had a budget of $17 million, which were pretty hefty back in 1981. I think it lost money at the box office. But let's have a look at this cast list again. Albert Finney as Detective Dewey Wilson. Diane Venora, who I have no idea what else she's been in, as Detective Rebecca Neff. Is she a detective? I thought she just worked for some corporation. Never mind. Edward James Olmos as Eddie Holt, Gregory Hines as Coroner Whittington, Tom Noonan as Ferguson. I forgot Tom Noonan. Yes, another famous person in. Oh, right, Reginald Vell Johnson. Reginald Vell Johnson's in it. You may know from two Die Hard films. And we've also got James Tolkien in it. You'll know him when you see him. He's got no hair because, geez, didn't that guy ever have hair? But anyway. The big talking point about this film during its production was that apparently the director, I forgot his name already, Michael Wadley, handed in a 4-hour cut of the film and said, "There you go, there's your film, 4 hours of it." So the studio, and he wouldn't cut it down. He refused to allow it to be cut down. So they sacked him, they fired him, and sent it off to an editor. I think Richard Chew, of Star Wars fame, won an Oscar for Star Wars. Richard Chew cut it down to just under 2 hours, and it's a real good film, in my opinion. Right, so there we go. So off we go. Let me just have a bit of more information from good old Wikipedia. Wolfen was released theatrically in the United States by Orion Pictures through Warner Brothers on July 24th, 1981. It says here it was released just a few months after another werewolf feature, The Howling, and American Werewolf in London would be released less than a month after Wolfen. But Wolfen's not a werewolf film. Doesn't even pretend to be, so that's a bit silly. Right, let's get on with the film, shall we? Let's just go into it. Right, so I'll make myself titchy, and I'll get this full screen, and off we go. Obviously, we're not going to watch the film. This isn't Patreon. Oh my! By the way, I've got a Patreon. Hang on, I'll have to go. I'll put my Patreon banner on. And my shout out to Archmage Frey, who's still my lone patron. Probably not for much longer, to be completely honest. But yes, I've got a patron where you can watch some exclusive videos and some early access videos. You'll see them for about a week or so before I put them up on YouTube. But I've some exclusives. I've done my Magical Monochrome show that we watch an old 50s B movie and have a chortle at that. And also do my sketch time videos where I draw a picture in real time. So that's what we do on Patreon. So go over there and have a look. That'd be much appreciated. Right. So the film. Let's get it going, shall we? Oh, hang on, I forgot to mute it because I'm an idiot. There we go. Right, off we go. Add to stream. Here it is. Remember that logo? Let's just watch it one at a frame at a time, shall we? Here we go. That good old logo. Yeah, Orion. Here it is there. An Orion Pictures release. Remember those. Let's have a drink. Just bear with me. Sorry, yes, I am drinking. Right, so off we go. Let's get into this film. Hit Zig production. We get some views of what's it London for? I've only had one sip of New York. And they can see the they're sadly not there anymore. World Trade Center Twin Towers. But anyway, there's the Empire State Building in the background there. Here we see Edward James Olmos standing atop. Is it the Brooklyn Bridge? I don't know. Joshua's arrived. Hello, Joshua. Apologies for the tardy. Well, later on, we'll see not Edward James Olmos, James Tolkien, so he can give you a tardy slip. But we see him later on, looking just like he does in Back to the Future. Anyway, Edward James Olmos is up on this top of this bridge with some of his other mates. There we go. He's spinning his noisemaker thing round. It's going like woo, 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 making that sort of noise. It goes round. His friend's feeding a pigeon. So there we see him up there. Because they work on the bridge. And then we see, apparently this is the South Bronx, apparently. But it surprised me. I don't know if it's like that now in New York. I don't know. But I didn't think there were like these huge swathes of wasteland in New York City. But apparently this is the South Bronx. And it's been, in the film, it's been torn down and for a new development by a chap called Christopher Van der Veer, who becomes the first victim in the film. But anyway, we're seeing... all the dilapidated buildings called a bull roarer. Is that what they're called? Those bull roarers. Oh, that thing is spinning round. Anyway, it's doing that. Which all these dilapidated buildings and piles of bricks and stuff. And I think we see this one actually go down. I think we see this. There we go. There you go. and a church in the background. I'm sure I've read somewhere that they actually built this church for the film, but I don't know if that's true or not. I read somewhere that the church was built to burn it down, but I don't think it burns down in the film. Maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe they're thinking of something else. There's the title, Wolfen, based on the book by Whitley Strieber. No, it didn't start early. It started on time. Win Grace. It started on time. Because generally, I'm not like Brian or Gary from Nerdrotic, who just starts when they want to start. You know, I'm sat twiddling my thumbs, watching the clock, waiting until 9 o'clock, until the countdown ends, and then I press go live because I've nothing else to do. Maybe that'll change because I don't have guests. You see, I've just me to look after, so I don't have guests to worry about. But anyway, right, where were we? All right, Whitley Strieber. That's what I was saying. Written, based on a novel by Whitley Strieber. A lot of people forget he was actually, quite a successful horror novelist. With Whitley Strieber before he was abducted by aliens and wrote Communion and all that. But anyway, right, off we go with the first POV views that we see in of the Wolfen, and it's like I'm going to call it all the way through the film. I'm going to call it Predator Vision because it is Predator Vision essentially, more or less. Even as the sound, when they first go to it, always goes pew, 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 and they're doing that the heartbeat sound and stuff. I don't know. See if I can just play that little clip with a bit of audio. So I'll have to mute it, won't I? You ready? There you go. It's Predator Vision, isn't it? That's what it is. But it's fine. But remember, this came out 6 years before Predator. Joshua was saying Strieber did some good stuff, including Communion. I've not actually read any of his books. I don't think I've read Communion. I don't think, but I've not actually read any of his books, so I don't know if they were good or not. To be completely honest. Win Grace is saying, I had it in my head, it started at past. When do I ever start my shows at past? They're always on the hour. Right, where were we? Right, so these we get these POVs, and I think it's supposed to be like thermal vision, but it's obviously not. It's like just some weird filter that they've put on. Probably, state of the art back in 1981. But anyway, so we're seeing that. And then we're seeing the POV of a ceremony, a groundbreaking ceremony for the building site. There's Christopher Van der Veer with his silver helmet and silver shovel breaking ground. So he's obviously a target for the Wolfen. Right, so we see him. There's been a passage of time. Apparently, it's 5 a.m. now, 5 o'clock in the morning ish. There's been a party. So now he's heading back to his apartment or whatever, with his lovely wife there. I think she's called Veronica. I think. Hang on, I'll just have to double check. I think it's Veronica. Is it going to say that? No, I'm totally wrong. Where did they get Veronica from? It's Pauline Van der Veer. I tell you, I'm hopeless with names. Maxwell Silver Hammer. I'm sure that has some significance, but I don't know what. I'm being dense again. Anyway, they're heading home in their, chauffeur-driven limo. She's a bit passed out. She's actually going to be a bit more passed out in a bit, because she takes some drugs, a bit of cocaine, to help her through the night. That's the logo for the security firm that's supposed to be keeping an eye on them. Oh, the Beatles, is it? Is that where it's from? I'm not a massive Beatles fan, apart from, the famous songs. Anyway. Right, so they're being watched by the security system. Doesn't do them much good, as we'll see. There they go. They're having a drinky poo. She's going to snort a bit of, there we go. Bit of that. Special visual effects. Robert, how do you pronounce that? Blaylock. The name rings a bell. I'm not thinking of Jolene Blaylock or whatever. Blaylock. I can't remember the name now. Maybe he's related. I don't know. Right. So anyway, for some reason, Edward James Olmos is lurking about on this bridge that they're driving across, and he throws like a whiskey bottle at the car. It's not really explained why, but he's in the area at the time. There he is. Look, there he is. There he is. Look, lurking about. Oh, anyway, they've decided they're taking a bit of a detour. They're going to look at these old windmills, not old windmills, windmill, like a commemorative place where there were a windmill placed by the Dutch settlers back in the day. One of his ancestors built it. And I think it's a recreation of that. So she's obviously a bit high, so she's playing with these wind chimes. There you go. She probably can see the sounds or whatever. There you go, directed by Michael Wadley. So they're having, a nice little time looking at the windmill. That's the fella that's supposed to be protecting them. Apparently he's Haitian. He's from Haiti. And he's into voodoo, apparently, and he won a Papa Doc's security or something like that. Yes, it's too bad she won't live. She won't live. Spoilers. I know that reference. I should get the little video of the Captain America saying, I understood that reference. Because a lot of them I don't, because I'm dense. Anyway, she loses sight of Christopher, so we get his first jump scare. Then he comes jumping out. Chris! And then he jumps out at her. They put her. Oh, they've got a dog, by the way. And here he comes in a minute. There he goes. He jumps out at her, and they put a roaring sound for some reason, but not a roaring, snarling sound. Like, it's just him. But then we cut to the. Here we go. Cut to the predator vision. See the Wolfen are coming. We don't actually see him. We don't see him for a while. We've seen him in the trailer, but at the beginning, if you were watching from the beginning. Anyway, so they're going to get got now. By the way, I think it's an early-ish use of Steadicam. They use a lot of Steadicam in this. Not the earliest, but early-ish, 1981. Right, so going to get attacked. Here we go. The Wolfen are watching them. There we go. It's watching, and it sees him. It's right up behind him. You could probably hear it breathing down his neck. Wait, have I missed that bit? Yeah, I think I have missed that bit. Let's go back a bit. Here we go. He turns round. There we go. Turns round, pulls his gun out. Oh, I think we missed it again, haven't we? There we go. He's going to get him now. He pulls his gun out, and whatever, don't know if it bites or swipes his hand off, but it goes flying because he pulls the gun out, and it gets his hand either bitten off or swiped off. I don't know which. So I think he just bleeds out, or maybe they get him. I don't know. Then it's Christopher Van der Veer's turn to get got. There we go. They're watching him. There we go. He gets got. And then they get, there we go, Pauline. She gets got as well. And we're told later on that her head is almost severed. Because we can see there it's not. But anyway, never mind. Just for a gag. I think it's just for a gag. An off-screen gag, no less. But we'll get to that. Right, so we cut to, actually a smash cut to Albert Finney in his apartment. And apparently he's suspended for some reason. We don't find out why. But he's been suspended. Apparently he's not just any detective, he's a captain. He's Captain Dewey Wilson. So he's quite a high-ranking detective. He's been suspended for whatever reason, but he gets called back on duty in a bit. Pardon me. There we can see him jogging, showing he's keeping fit. He's got mad hair all through this film. Have no room to talk. Obviously, he reads a lot of newspapers. And he gets a beeper. His beeper goes off. His pager goes off. So it's the phone's in. And, his boss or whatever tells him he's back on duty. Is to get over to the battery because that's where the war is. It Battery Park, whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm not from New York. I don't know. It's to get over there. There's been killing. So he's back. He's back at work. That's his boss. What's his boss called? Can't remember. His boss is called something or other. Warren. There we go. Dick O'Neill as Warren. All right. So he's back on duty. And he says, "How will I get there?" And Warren says, "Fly." And so he does, literally. We see him arrive by helicopter, no less. I presume it's a police. There he is, police helicopter. So actually, he took the advice literally. He just flagged down a helicopter, and now he's arrived. And nobody bats an eyelid. He's just there, still with his newspapers and his shopping. And these chaps are searching these boats for some reason. I think they're just being thorough. Right, to go and check the scene of the crime. Where we learn it's Christopher Van der Veer, who's super wealthy, like one of these billionaires, and he's going to the area that we saw. It's going to be all built up into like Delta City sort of thing. It's going to be all made nice and gentrified. So obviously the mayor and the commissioner arrive. So that's them. So they're not happy about this, because he's a billionaire. You don't like your billionaires getting killed, do you? Right, Gregory Hines is on the case. He's the coroner, and he's dealing with that. Him and Dewey obviously have a history. They get on well. They're a good team. So we see what happens there. I'm pressing the right button. Yes, I am. See, they're searching about. I don't think they were police. I think they were actually. Let's go back again. These. I don't think these are actually police either. I think these are security from the private security firm that was supposed to be looking after Christopher Van der Veer. I think they are. Yes, they are. You can see the logo there on the arm. The security firm's working in cooperation with the police. So Gregory is Whittington. He's called Gregory is playing a character called Whittington. I think he calls him Whitty, something like that. So they have a bit of banter. Telling I forgot his name already. Dewey, that you shouldn't go jogging. Just use chemicals. Your body's going to give up on you anyway, whatever you do. So they're having a bit of banter. There's Chris Van der Veer's body. And we're coming up on the bit where he looked at. He finds the hand that were bitten off by the security guard with a ring on it that's got a pentagram and a goat's head or something. It's voodoo. Apparently, we're into voodoo. They're covering all the angles for these deaths, by the way. They cover supernatural, terrorism, all that stuff. It's all covered. Corporate assassinations, all that stuff. It's all in the wash. Right, so they go over and check out what's left of Pauline, not Veronica. Don't know where I got that from. There we go. And it's basically saying that her head's almost severed. And you see there, it's not. If it were almost severed, it says just bit through the front and there'd just be a flap of skin. The head would be like well down, wouldn't it? But it's not. So they're saying, no, it's such a waste. Don't care about the fellas when it's a woman. Then it's such a waste. Josh was saying, Gregory Hines was great in this and Eve of Destruction. I've not seen that. But yes, he's good in this. To be honest, I've not seen Gregory Hines in a lot of stuff. But anyway. Right. So they're at a loss. They don't know what's going on at the moment. Hopefully, things will be uncovered. Oh, this is the gag where they said the head were almost beaten clean off, and so I'll unmute it just for this bit.
Be careful with her. Head.
That was it. Be careful with her head. Obviously, Policeman dropped her head. You can hear him off screen saying, "I'm not picking it up." Unbelievable. Hey. I declare that all blondes in appointment with fear viewing shall henceforth be called Veronica. Yes, just like all fellas of a certain age shall be called Josh. That's the new rule. We shall have rules for appointment with fear. Right, where were we? Next up, right, there we go. They're putting the body in the back of the hearse or whatever it is. Oh, he finds one of the pearls. Christopher had given Veronica, Pauline, some pearls. I wouldn't say a pearl necklace, but giggling, and obviously that got broken when she was attacked, Batman style, and he finds one of the pearls. Can't really got any significance, to be honest, but he keeps it around for some weird reason. Right, so obviously he's pondering about stuff, wondering what's going on. The stuff's working. Here's Reginald Bell Johnson. There he is, and he's got a body there. That's not connected to this case. He's having fun with it. Dewey's arrived, and we see some action in the morgue. And I was watching it, thinking, have they actually filmed this in an actual morgue with real dead bodies, or are they like actors leaked out? I don't know, but you never know, do you? By the way, this film, it's a bit, I know it's 1981, only just in the 80s, but it does have like a 70s vibe to it. Well, I think it does. It fit in with like films that were made in the 70s. It's got that sort of gritty 70s thing going on. Well, I think it has anyway. Joshua was saying we should make some rules. Drinking game. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Only drinking game I have is when I'm reading an article and it says in a galaxy far, far away, I've got to have a drinking game. So there we go. But for appointment with fear, I don't know. Think of something. Do we need a game to drink? Says Win Grace. Well, no, technically not. In fact, I'm going to have another swig. Hey. Right. Off we go. Anyway. So he's in this morgue. As I said, it looks like probably isn't, but it looks like a working morgue. There we go. Dead bodies everywhere. Look. Cleaning off the bodies and stuff. There we go. A bit of claret. He's eating his cookies. I don't know why he's there. He's just hanging about, I think. Just waiting for Gregory Hines to catch up to him. Gregory Hines showing him some x-rays. And he says there's no sign of any metal. Because we're thinking, they're being stabbed to death or whatever, with some sort of blade. But it turns out, no metal at all found. It's like even the sharpest blade would leave, residue that would show up on an x-ray. And so there's nothing. There we go. So that's the first puzzle in the case. This is Pauline's body. Just affirming that it's a mystery how she's died. This is the what do they call it now? I'm not up on police jargon. The room where all the policemen are meeting and working everything out. But he's not allowed in. This copper won't let him in. But he says it lets him in anyway. They have a bit of banter. This is where we learn he's a captain, and other people call him captain as well. So he must be a detective captain. So here we go. So he goes in. The police are clueless, by the way. There's no idea what's going on. But Dewey's on the case. And there's lots of suspects, terrorism, political intrigue, because, his corporations funded, overthrowing governments and stuff like that. So anyway, but it could be anybody, basically. Right, what's happening next? Here we are at the HQ of the security service. Obviously, they're none the wiser either. One of the woman that with Rebecca that we come to know. She's interviewing this this other woman. Joshua says, although I'm usually watching these at work, so I don't drink too much. Oh well, have a coffee, can't you? She's interviewing this so-called terrorist. Is it this bit? That might be later. It might be later. They're bringing her in to work on the case, and she's good. She's good at interviewing people. She's like the Fox Mulder, I suppose, of the case. There she is. She's gone over to meet Dewey. Getting to know each other. Right, they're in now in the security place, and she's interviewing this one of the suspects who's like the head of a, terrorist organization or a radical group, you'd suppose you'd call it. She's like a rich kid, that's just rebelling and talking to her, but they haven't got her plugged up. She mentions, is this a lie detector test? And said, no, obviously not, because that'd be illegal. They said maybe it were illegal in 1981. But they've got all this technology as this security firm that, they're watching her through the screens and they're doing voice stress analysis and they don't know if she's lying or not. And they deduce, because she tries to claim responsibility for the murders. She's saying it's, an assassination. But they say, no, she's lying. She's no idea what's going on. So they're still none the wiser. That's her. Go on, get on with it. Get past this bit. It does go on a bit. And he eventually says, no, she's lying. She's no idea what's going on. Right, next. Here we are. More, there we go. More predator vision. The slums. Here we go. People are obviously still living there. Oh, this fella, not him. That's not a fella. That's a piece of jewelry. A kind of cool piece of jewelry. Is giving it to this chap for some drugs. Let me see him. And so he gets a couple of pills for his necklace. So off he goes, pops his pills, and now he's staggering about there he goes, staggering about in the dilapidated area. Off his tits, basically. But he's being watched. You see, he's being followed by the Wolfen. And then he hears what he thinks is a baby crying. This happens a few times. We hear this baby cry. So he goes to investigate. And doesn't end well for him because the Wolfen get him. They got him. He falls over. And then they drag him. There's bright orange blood there. Then there it is. And then they drag him off. There you go. He gets dragged off. So that's another victim, but obviously he's not a billionaire. Was she also in FX? I've no idea. That's another film I've not seen. That Murder by Illusion film with Brian Brown in it. Not Brian Brown. Yeah, Brian Brown. Yeah, the Australian fella. I've not seen that. I've not seen the second one either. Murder by Illusion, that film. Not seen it, so I can't tell you. But I know of it. Right, so what have they got to do next? So they've got to get on top of the case. Smoking a cigar. I asked her if she wants a ride home. There's obviously a bit of chemistry between them. Not really, but supposed to be. But he offers her a lift home, but she refuses this time. But we know they're gonna end up doing it later. Right, Predator Vision again. Somebody else gonna cop for it. Can't remember. Oh no, they're not. They're just observing that this construction crew or clearing crew or whatever it is find that previous chap's body. There you go, his hand sticking out there, and they also find his head. We just get a quick glimpse of it. Gonna show us. There we go. Quick glimpse. Is that the same fella, or is it supposed to be somebody else? I don't know. Didn't look much like him, did it? But like I said, I think that's right. With a quick glimpse, you know, you got like a second of it, if that. If that. It was probably a store-bought head that put some maggots on. Anyway, so they found him. And also, you know, we saw that the Wolfen are also, you know, the watching things going on. Right at the Vanderveer Tower to check out their officers. Obviously, you know, very palatial. That's some artwork by Pauline Vanderveer, almost called her Veronica. Apparently, she was a bit of an artist. And they said, oh, it's a bit disturbing. Well, yeah, it is. So they suspect that might be a cry for help. Or maybe she was just a bit morbid. Or she could have been high as a kite when she painted that. You never know. This is the model. This here, that there. That's the model of what he's going to build in, you know, that slum area. As you may have guessed, the Wolfen live in the slums. They live in the dilapidated areas and they prey on the down and out and the people that nobody will miss. We learned all this later on in the film. But obviously, Christopher Vanderveer were, you know, They were targeted by the Wolfen because they knew what they were going to do. They were going to take away their hunting ground. I'm getting ahead of myself as usual. Here we go. Here's James Tolkien. Oh, and cheeky pictures behind. I just noticed that. Didn't notice that one. Let's move on. There we go. There he is. Jeez, did that guy ever have hair? He's. I actually forgot what he's here for. I think he's found a hair. Yes, I think he's found a hair in the from the crime scene, and it's not human. And the hair on the on the bodies. It's not human. They don't know what it is. They'll have to go and talk to somebody else. By the way, they call him Baldy. I don't know why. So they're going checking this out. Well, they're going in this area for now. I can't remember. They're just checking it out. They're being watched. Oh yes, I remember this. Yes, I remember that. I watched this today. By the way, yes, I watched it on my Blu-ray. Got the Blu-ray of Wolfen. Pretty good. It's a bit of vanilla. No extra features on it, but it comes with some nice cards and a poster. But that's what you get for, what is it? Premium Collection Blu-ray. No special features, apart from a trailer. Anyway, they're being watched, obviously, by the Wolfen. And they go and check out this church. I don't know how they're drawn to this church, but they go there. Oh, wow, that's it, yes. She hears the crying. She hears the baby crying. They're talking there outside. She says, did you hear that? The baby crying. So she goes inside, follows her. And, obviously you can hear it. It does sound like a baby crying. And it's like, yeah, cool production design. Don't know if it were a real church or not. Don't know, but, kind of cool. Anyway, she goes exploring. And she goes up these stairs, as we'll see in a moment. There you go. You can hear this baby crying from somewhere, and also like a bit of a woman screaming as well. So I'm guessing that's the Wolfen imitating these noises to lull their prey into a false sense of security or whatever, or to get them to come to them. Kind of reminded me of that bear from that film with Natalie Portman in that were on Netflix, which I forgot what it was called. Was it Annihilation or something like that? That scary bear that's in that. It reminded me of that. Anyway, so she's going up these rickety stairs that keep breaking. But then Dewey gets spooked and he goes running after her. He can sense what's going on and he grabs her. He grabs her. They both fall down the stairs. This is when we get another, a quick look. It's probably my favourite shot of the film, to be honest. So I don't want to miss it. There we go. As they go out, we get this. We get a look up the stairs, and we see. Is it going to show us next? Might be next when they get outside. Getting the predator vision again first. See what happens. See, it's gone past it. Look, bloody hell, stupid thing. Go back. There we go. No, live. Just keep playing it. I'll just keep playing it. Hope we're not getting a copyright strike. No, we're fine. Oops. Don't do long clips. We should be okay. Fingers crossed. I just want to see this. We see their eyes, basically. These red eyes watching them from the top of the stairs. There we go. There we go. I know it's not much, but I just like it because it's spooky. There we go. That was it. That was your lot. All that faffing about for that. Well, that's one. Annihilation. I haven't seen yet. Oh, I think it's on Netflix, isn't it? I think it is. It was all right. I didn't mind it. Not the best film ever, but not the worst either. Right. So they've escaped from there after falling down the stairs. Yes, and we're back to predator vision, and they're being followed. So they've obviously picked up the scent as the Wolfen, and they're using other visual clues as well. They're following them. Because obviously they're intelligent, by the way. This Wolfen. So they're tracking Dewey and Rebecca. Anyway, they've gone to a bar where somebody's passed out. Talking about their day, and you can see that Dewey's proper spooked. He's like shaking and stuff as he's having a drink, but they don't talk about it. She asks him how has he ever killed anybody, and he doesn't really answer. He says you'd be better off answering how many have I killed or shot or whatever. He admits he shot a rookie cop on his first day in the leg when he was cleaning his gun in the locker room. But I don't know if he's supposed to be, a good cop that's never killed anybody, or if he's, a grizzled cop that's killed too many people in his life. Because he did mention early on he likes killing. Somebody said, "Why are you a cop?" He says, "I like killing." But I suspect he's never killed anybody. That's what I'm going with. He's a good cop. That's a good detective that hasn't had to kill anybody. That's what I'm going with. Anyway, see, they're still being followed. Here we go. The wolves are following, going over this bridge. They see these chaps and they're trying to avoid them, so they go another way. But then it comes that way, so the Wolfen have to come this way. And this fella, wrong place, wrong time. So he gets sent. There we go. Sent flying through the air for his troubles. Right, so they're entering the city proper now. Gone over the bridge. Is it the Brooklyn Bridge? I don't know. I don't know New York's bridges. I only know the Brooklyn Bridge. And I think they're at where Rebecca's staying. It's not. I don't think it's where she lives all the time. I think she says she's staying there. I think it's one of the security firm's houses. I think. But she doesn't invite him in yet. But she's going and sorting herself out. There we see she's got a cat. Anyway. Why? See, there's like this POV view from outside. Obviously, it's not the Wolfen that's watching her because it's not in predator vision. So it's somebody else watching her. Is Edward James Olmos watching her? Is Dewey watching her? Or is it just the cameraman? The director decided to do that shot. I don't know. Right. See, Dewey's out now, checking out this the crime scene area of the Van der Veer killing. See, she's back in her apartment. Probably bored. She looks bored. I think she hears a noise. I think she is creaking or something, or she hears a noise anyway that she's not used to. Gets a gun out, and the cat scares her. So when she didn't kill the cat jumps out and scares her. And never mind. Goes honest. Here it comes. There it goes. Should have shot the cat. No, you say don't shoot the cat. Right. Passage of time, maybe the next day, I don't know. They've gone to see Tom Noonan, who plays Ferguson, is it? Fergie? Let me check. Yes, Ferguson. He works at the zoo, I do believe, or somewhere like that. You know, he's an animal expert. They're asking him about the fur that were found on the body, and so he's saying here, you know, obviously it's not a reptile because reptiles don't have fur. You know, it's obviously a mammal looking for a predator. Obviously a gorilla. Obviously not one of them. Not a hippo either. Anyway, so he looks at it, looks at the fur, and he says he knows what it is. So he says, "You want to know where it comes from?" So he brings out a big stuffed wolf. There we go. Canis lupus. He says that's what the fur's from, but he doesn't know the breed or the species or whatever, what type of wolf it is. But he says it's definitely a wolf fur. So there we go. So we're getting a step closer now to solving the mystery. But obviously, but Fergie is into his animals, so he says, you know, wolves never attack people. You know, it's a myth and stuff that wolves attack people. You know, they were wiped out by people along with the indigenous population. They keep going on about that quite a bit in this. That's where we learn that you know they're looking for a wolf, not a kangaroo. Right, what next? What next? Got to work out their next plan of action. Where they're going here, I can't remember. Through a gate. Oh yes, they've got to go and see. Because they mention in this film we call them Indians. I know we can't call them that anymore. You can't call them Native Americans either. First people. I can't keep up. But in this film they call them Indians. So they're going looking for a particular Indian whose name I've forgotten, obviously. But it's Edward James Olmos. Eddie Holt, that's it. They're looking for Eddie Holt because apparently he's had like previous. Because I think they mentioned like, I don't say skinwalkers, but they say like shapeshifters and that Indians could shapeshift into animals and stuff like that. And I think Eddie Holt claimed he could do stuff like that, and he'd actually killed somebody or almost killed. He'd served time in prison, and he were back out anyway and working on this bridge. So it says, you know, is Eddie here? He goes and asks him, is Eddie here? He says, yes, he's up on the bridge. He said, can you call him down? He says, yes, in about 4 hours or whatever. Oh, cat people. Done either of those? No, I've not done them either. I think I've seen the original one from the 30s, early 40s. I can't remember when it was. I've not seen the newer one with, is it Natasha Kinski? Is it something like that, isn't it? I've not seen that one. But anyway, yeah. Not cat people. They're skinwalkers, but not from Skinwalker Ranch. Anyway, it says you've basically he's got to go up to talk to Eddie. So he goes up there we go, goes up the bridge, and actually, you know, it's like Albert Finney's actually going up on the bridge. Yes, he's got his harness and stuff, and he actually genuinely looks terrified. I think I would be as well. I'd be terrified, but up he goes. Talk to Edward James Olmos, who you may know from Blade Runner, which we mentioned earlier, and Battlestar Galactica, obviously. Anyway, so here we go. There he goes, clinging on for dear life. And but he don't ask him anything about the case. He's basically, he just goes up there and says, you know, what you been up to, Eddie? And Eddie says, nothing, I've been working and all that. And they basically have a bit of a back and forth, slightly, you know, antagonistic. But he never mentions, you know, the case or anything. And he just goes and leaves him up there. And that's the end of it, really. But he's showing that he's, you know, he's not afraid of heights. He ain't got a harness and stuff like that. He's not bothered. Why? And he says, you know, he talks about being not a skinwalker, a shapeshifter. He says, you know, we can, you know, Indians can turn into animals, you know, like an eagle. So we could turn into an eagle, just jump. He'll turn into an eagle. And obviously they don't. And Dewey says, oh, you know, could you turn into a wolf? And he says, yeah, sure, I suppose. And maybe from that reaction, maybe he realizes it's not Eddie because, you know, he seems surprised, you know, as though he asked about a wolf. He said, sure, why not? So I think he's cleared Eddie from this case, but we do see him again. Anyway, there we go. So yeah, he unhooked him, and you know, the kind of not threatening to push him off or jump off with him, but kind of teasing him a bit. And if I were up there, I'd be crapping myself. I'm terrible with heights, even if we're fastened on. Wouldn't be rust. It wouldn't be rust on that top of that bridge. It'd be something else brown. Anyway, so the wondering. There you go. He's nothing to do with it as Eddie, but he's still, you know, a person of interest, I suppose. He was looking at the scribbles of the church, wondering. Oh, they're looking at the pearl that he found. And then he thinks, even though he didn't see this, he has a quick think about the. Oh, don't matter, he didn't show it. He has another flash image of the eyes on the stairs, the red eyes. But he didn't see that, did he? That happened after they go. There we go. But never mind. Be psychic. Right. I forgot his name. Whittington is back at the morgue, listening to his music, and he thinks he hears something, and turns his music off. Then gets back about his work, and then Dewey sneaks up on him and makes him jump. He says, so you do get spooked in these places. Right, so what's he here for now? I can't remember. Is this where looking at the wounds? Is that this one? Have a look. Come on, show us. Yes, I think this is the voodoo guy. Oh, they brought in Ferguson. Yes, he's looking at the wounds, and we're seeing that you know, they're not done with a blade. They're like tears or bite wounds. So I think this is where they're realizing that it is probably a wolf that's done it. But you know, where's the wolf? You know, staying and all that. You know, where can they find it? He's keeping an eye on Eddie Holt, and they all hang out at this bar in this rundown area. So keeping an eye on him. See if they come out. And I think Eddie is now going to go and it's nearly a full moon, and you can see that must be later on. A bit later on, it shows the moon and all the clouds going in front of it, but yeah, you can see the stars. And I thought, you'll be able to see the stars with the cloud going in front of it. Anyway, we're going to see Eddie do his shape-shifting thing, except he doesn't. But for the ladies, you get to see Edward James almost take all his clothes off in a minute. Dewey follows him. There we go. See him take all his clothes off. Don't worry, you don't see his willy. I don't think you do anyway. So basically, he's thinking he's becoming a wolf. He leaves. There we go. He leaves like wolf marks in the sand, but he don't actually turn into a wolf. And he's drinking water from a puddle and howling. There he is. Look. There he is. And that's about it, really. And then he goes scampering off. Oh, you do see his willy. Sorry. Oh, this is a bit where you see the clouds passing in front of the moon. Yet you can see all these stars here. Look. That wouldn't happen, would it? Turn it off. It's rubbish. Anyway, there he is howling at the moon. He's obviously not shape-shifting. It's Dewey. He's seen Dewey. Oh, you've seen me with no clothes on. But, you know, he's fine. He's fine. Not really a wolf. There we go. This bit. They've obviously had a confrontation, but you know, nothing comes of it. But we'll go back to Predator Vision. Somebody's being watched. Oh, we're at the zoo. So obviously, for some reason, But after Fergie or Ferguson, for some reason, here he is watching a film about wolves being shot, and he's not happy about it. And he gets a phone call. Don't know who makes the phone call. He gets a phone call. He's got to go and meet somebody or go be somewhere. Did the wolves make the phone call? I don't know. Or was it Edward James Olmos? I don't know. But he goes out on his bike. He's being watched, and he says he's being watched. There he goes. That's the phone call. Says, "I'll be right there." So off he goes on his little moped, and he gets under this bridge, and he can hear the growling of the Wolfen. Saying, "Oh, I knew you'd be here," trying to be nice, but then the growling gets more aggressive. So he thinks, "Oh," because he gets scared and runs away or rides away. But then they get him for some reason. I don't know why. Don't know why, but they get him. Here we go. We're going to see him get got now. There we go. Gets got. Don't know why. Don't know why. But I don't think they find him either, to be honest. There we go. Back to Dewey in his apartment. New York. Oh, another day. That's Rebecca's place. Sleeping in his car. He's obviously staking out Rebecca, making sure she's safe. I think that's what he's doing. But the wolf being watched by the wolf, and obviously he's dreaming about him and his shape shifting that he doesn't do. Yes, he saw that. I forgot about that. Yes, he saw that in that church. Stained glass of a wolf eating somebody. It's kind of spooky, isn't it? But there is something else that happens later on that makes you think, are they kind of supernatural? But maybe they are. Ferguson getting got still makes no sense. Some subplot must have been dropped. Yeah, possibly. Well, there were 4 hours of it, apparently, weren't there? So they dropped half of the film. Yeah, because he were all for it, wasn't he? He were on their side. But anyway. Oh, here we go. There we go. See, wolf eyes. So he knows he's being watched, and he I think we see a shadow. See if we can get to it. Because it's quick. And he's looking, you see, he's being watched. There we go. Oh, it's 2 of them. I never noticed that, actually. I never noticed that when it was 3. Tell you, not very observant, there's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Is there any more that I've not noticed? Not that I can see. To be watched by 3 of them. That's his first look at them. They're just wolves, they're not werewolves out there. And he switches on his headlights, but they've disappeared. By the time he switches them on there, they've gone. So they're slightly supernatural because there's something happens at the end that you think, because they just like disappear. And I think, are they supernatural? Because Edward James Olmos refers to them, says, they could be gods. You could class them as gods. So maybe they are like earth spirit, wolf spirits, manitous even. I think we did that a while ago, the Manitou. It's in the playlist if you check it. Right, so now what? He's going to check on, that's it, he's going to check on Rebecca. So he's running upstairs. He buzzed the thing. I don't know who let him in, but somebody let him in. He went running upstairs. A door's open. So he's like, oh no, something's wrong. So he goes bursting in with his gun out, but she's fine. She's in there. Look, she's like, what's going on? But no words are exchanged. She obviously knows something's wrong. He has a look round, and but everything's fine. So I think this is where they do it now, because he's run to her rescue. So she's obviously up for it. He's a white knight, and they're still being watched. And the Wolfen are watching them. Going to watch them get down to it in a bit. Here we go. Not only watching, listening, because there's a lot of slurping and stuff going on, because they've got a lot of hearing. In that previous scene with Fergie, when they were talking about looking at his wolf film and stuff. He was talking about how amazing wolves are, and they've got £1,500 per square inch of pressure in the jaws, and they can see things in infrared, and they've got hearing that can hear down to, I don't know, they can hear a pin drop from 1,000,000 miles away or whatever. So they're amazing. So they're hearing all this slurping and squelching as they're getting down to it. Body doubles perchance, because I don't know. Is Albert Finney going to show his bottom in a film? I don't know, but it's tastefully done. You don't see anything, really. So that's that, right? So next morning, she's in bed, and he's up and off and out already, as we see. Comes out. Now we see this fella, Liam. Is that Fergie's push bike? Has he found Fergie's push bike? It never mentions it. Not push bike, motorbike, moped. Because he's like coming down the hill, look, being all wobbly, and then he falls off it. And that's it. Not mentioned again. Why has he got Fergie's motor? I'm presuming it is. Anyway, so he goes to the zoo, meets up with Whittington, Gregory Hines. Wondering, Ferguson's missing. They don't know why he's missing. He hasn't, he didn't go home, and his mother's going crazy. So they don't know. The cleaner there, by the way, doesn't speak English. They ask him a question. He goes, no speaker de Inglo, or whatever. So they're at a loss again as to what's going on. But they've got a plan what they're going to do. I think he suspects that the answer is in the slum area that we're going to be developed. I think so too. Definitely a lost subplot. Yeah, in that with the Ferguson thing. Yeah. Should be a director's cut, shouldn't there, somewhere? You'd think so. Anyway, never mind. We need the extended edition. Pardon me, sorry, lag. So they're working out what to do next. And they're talking about the people that because it's not just in New York. That's it. That's what I'm saying. It's coming back to me now. It's not just in New York. I should take notes, shouldn't I, and read off my notes. But I'm bone idle. I'm going on memory and what's in front of me. He's looked into it, and it's not just New York. Lots of people disappear. He says, "Do you know how many people disappear every year?" Well, a ton. And it's not just New York. He's looked in Philadelphia and other cities, and they've all got similar problems with like homeless people disappearing and all that. So there we go. And he's looking at a picture of an Indian. All right, what's next? Oh, here we go. This is, I think this is the director. I think that's Michael Wadley, I think. See if it says on the... I've seen it somewhere. It says at the end in the credits. No, don't say it in there. It might say it in the full cast and crew. It says, this fella. I think that's the director, Michael Wadley, I think. But basically, he's another one that's owning up to the crimes. Is for, I can't remember the name of the organisation. Does it say? Does it say in the plot on Wikipedia? Does it say? Yeah, Gotterdammerung. There we go. Is the leader of that radical cell? Gotterdammerung is a German cell, and he's claiming responsibility, much like the other woman did, but he's got previous, and also they find a wolf pelt that he owns. That so that's enough for them. He must be, they're not saying he's lying. They're using all that stuff that they did on the woman. There's not, the lie detector stuff, and they're not saying he's lying. They don't say he's telling the truth either. Just look at each other. So maybe he thinks he's telling the truth. I don't know. They're saying they've got the man. Their plan now. They're going to go into the the South Bronx area. They're going to go in with rifles and night vision and stuff, and they're going to stake it out and try and find out what's going on. I think I forgot his name now. I forgot bloody name of that character now. I'm useless there. Warren, that's it, Warren. Warren comes in. I think he's telling them that they've got a suspect in custody, but they're not convinced. Obviously the real police are thinking it's a person rather than an animal. Anyway, so they head out for their stakeout. He's in the church, I think, is Whittington, and Dewey's across the street in another building. Because night falls, they've got their night vision look. Is it night vision or just a green filter? Don't know. And he's got a hearing thing, what they call it, a parabolic dish thing for hearing sounds. Speaking of those, only time I've used one of those when I were, how old will I have been? About 10 years old. This is going back. And there was a shop in the nearby city where I live, of Wakefield. There was a shop called the Eagle Press, which sold all stationery stuff and pens and pencils and paper and all that. But upstairs were the toy section, and they had a parabolic listening thing with headphones that you could use. And that's the only time I've used one, and it was fun. Everybody were having a go, but I were about 10 years, maybe 12 at most. So that's how far back I'm going. Anyway, Gotterdammerung is the final segment of the Ring Cycle by Wagner. It means Twilight of the Gods. Oh, very good. Thank you for that, Joshua. So you learn things if you watch Friday Night Appointment with Fear. Not from me, but from our knowledgeable chat. Oh, dear. Right. So the waiting now. Yes. He moons him because he's having fun. Is Whittington mooning Dewey because he knows he's watching him. There we go. Obviously, it all ends in tears. They're watching. Oh, and Dewey obviously hears or sees something, goes running across to the church. Whittington's he's not in the church, is he? He's watching the church, a nearby building, but obviously he's watching Dewey in there. But then he gets got by the Wolfen as Dewey is in the church. They lure him in, so he's away from. So he's not watching what Whittington's up to, probably. There we go. One of the. I think this is his first proper look. We had a quick glimpse of them earlier on, and we've seen their eyes, but this is his first proper look at one. They're just wolves, they're not monsters. He gets got. There we go. Oh, that's scary, isn't it? That's similar. So there we go. This is the end of Whittington, which is sad because he was a good character. I suppose you've got to lose your good characters. I suppose your popular ones. Comes crashing down through the ceiling in a minute. I think Dewey heard him scream and went running for him. There we go. Finds the body. Throat's torn out. He's quite dead. Oh dear. So he's lost his friend. Oh. There's the wolf watching him. The Wolfen, sorry, they're not wolves, the Wolfen watching him. All right, what's going on here? I think they're looking at stuff to do with that Gotterdammerung, and stuff that they've been up to. Yes. Dewey goes to this bar. Obviously, he's all in. He's in shock, essentially. He goes into this bar. He's all covered in scratches and all that. So it looks all dishevelled. There he goes. And going to talk to Eddie Holt and his mates. So that they tell him all about the Wolfen. Actually, said they are the Wolfen, and they've been around for 20,000 years. You know, Wolfen and the Indians lived in harmony, and you know, shared the land and all that. And he says, you know, maybe they're gods. But then when the white man came and they said they moved underground and started living in the cities and living off. That became their hunting ground, and started living off the unwanted people, the people who wouldn't be missed and stuff like that. Well, there was a subplot earlier on where they seemed to only be getting people that were diseased. They were finding. Oh no, they weren't. That's it. No, they were getting the homeless people, but they weren't eating the diseased organs, because obviously something wrong with a lot of these homeless people, cancer and stuff like that, or liver disease or whatever. But they were being, you know, picky in what they were eating and leaving the diseased flesh. But anyway, that's by the by. Yeah, so it's telling him all about the Wolfen, and that they've been around for 20,000 years. Now they're living, you know, in the cities, living off the people that won't be missed. But you know, if they keep developing certain areas of the cities, then they're going to have nowhere to live. They're taking their hunting ground from them. You know, they'll only kill, you know, for food, you know, or they won't attack. They'll only kill in defense or for food, you know, but they won't. But saying that though, you know, so they won't go for like revenge, but obviously they do, because they killed bloody Christopher Van der Veer at the beginning, didn't they? They didn't get him for food. Like a targeted assassination, wasn't it? Because he was the one in charge of what were going to take their hunting grounds away from them. Anyway, that's what they're telling him. You know, they're saying, you know, you're in over your head and all that. You know, nothing you can do about it. They're smarter than us. They've been around longer than us, etc. How many of these actors actually are Native Americans? I don't know. Probably none of them. Eddie has a romantic notion of the wolf, and like Robin, yeah, I suppose so. I suppose he does, which is understandable. You know, it's part of his, you know, cultural upbringing, I suppose. You know, one with nature and all that stuff in it, which is fair enough. I mean, you could argue that Fergie were a bit like that, wasn't he? But they still got him, didn't they? He were all for, you know, for the animals and stuff and nature. But it didn't save him, did it? Anyway. Wondering what. Oh, there we go. And I presume that's supposed to be a Native Indian shapeshifter, but it's obviously in a wolf or a bear fur or whatever. All right, so it's in. I think this is the Van der Veer Towers place with the got like glass blinds. That's where he is. Yes, he is. Yes, we've gone there. I think it's where it realizes what's going on, why the wolf are attacking, you know, people and attacking him, and you know, not him, but the people involved in this investigation, why they went for Van der Veer, because he's going to, you know, because of this, because of the development he was planning. So he's going to go and try and reason with them, I think. He watches a video first, I think, of what. Oh, it's watching the groundbreaking ceremony. This is where he realizes that this is why Christopher Van der Veer were killed, because of that development they were going to do, that were going to get basically build over the Wolfen's hunting ground. And this is where Warren arrives with his the wolf that they got from the Gotterdammerung chap. So they think they've got their man, but obviously Dewey's not convinced. He's going to go and sort it out. He's going to prove it. Why, yes. See, they come out of here now. Van der Veer. See the security guards. Don't see him in a few minutes. Maybe we're on the other side of the building. I'll tell you when I get there. Anyway, they come outside. They walk into the car, him and Rebecca and Warren. And then we realise they're surrounded by the Wolfen. Oh no! And Warren. Oh, aye. By the way, earlier on, tell you, I should make notes. We'd been told. Who said it now? I can't remember who. But somebody mentioned that sometimes when you get your head chopped off, your brain can survive for up to a minute. I think it was Whittington that mentioned this. Your brain can survive for up to a minute. Your eyes are looking round and your mouth's moving, trying to speak. Obviously, it can't. So they used to do it in the French Revolution. When they'd use the guillotine, they'd pick the head up and show the person their dead body. It must be weird. But we'd learned that earlier on in the film, and now we're going to see it in the flesh as Warren basically goes for his gun and pays the price. There we go. They're surrounded by the Wolfen and their predator vision. And that's a white. Is that the boss one? So it's the only white one I think we see. I think. But anyway, Warren makes a run for his car. There we go. They're barking and growling at him. Dewey and Rebecca are standing still, but he's going to go for his gun. He tells him not to go for his gun. The wolf and they bite his hand off or swipe his hand off. I don't know. It doesn't make it clear, but his hand's off anyway. But he gets into his car. But there was a wolf in there with him. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Wolf in there with him, and there we go. A real one, or is that a puppet wolf? I think I don't know, I can't really tell. It's a real one, isn't it? He gets out, and here we go. Well, that looks superimposed, doesn't it? It's not too bad, it happens quick. Only can tell because I'm pausing it. Here we go. Head off. Oh, it does get bitten off. You can see his jaws there. A realistic head. He's had his head bitten off. And then there's a quick shot. We're going to see it. Oh, go back again. Of his. There you go. Quick shot of him, his eyes looking about, his mouth moving. Just to reinforce what we heard earlier on. Anyway, so Dewey pulls his gun out, shoots the fuel tank on the car, which I think the. Is it Mythbusters have shown that doesn't happen? If you shoot a fuel tank of a car, just put holes in the fuel tank of your car. Don't think they blow up necessarily. Anyway, the car blows up, so they make a run for it with the distraction. Back to Van der Veer Towers. He shoots the glass. So it's like Die Hard, isn't it? Shoots the glass. Going. Don't know where the security guard's gone. Nowhere to be seen. They get in the elevator. That's what I said, elevator and not lift. They get in the elevator up to the penthouse when it's ready. So they're wondering what's going on. But obviously the wolves follow him up there, the Wolfen. Here we go, the police and fire brigade are arriving there. Where all that's happened. He's wondering about what's going on. Realising, they can't outsmart him, I think. There we go. They've arrived at the Wolfen. How did they get there? God knows. Joshua's just agreeing with me. Yep, bullets won't do the explosion on their road. Yeah. I suppose there'd have to be some sort of spark, wouldn't there? Which I suppose is not beyond the realm of possibility. But anyway, I think more often than not, you just put holes in your tank, don't you? Anyway, the Wolfen have arrived. Don't know how they got up there. Maybe they went in the elevator as well. Don't know. Or maybe they are supernatural. Maybe they're spirited themselves there. Anyway, they all come in through the windows, smashing through the windows. Here they come in a minute. Here we come. It reminds me of the Howling for some reason. That happens in the Howling, doesn't it? Sort of. So they've arrived, and he's pointing his gun at him, watching with the predator vision. Then he realizes, his gun's no good. He empties all the bullets out of his gun. There, they see sees the intelligence in their eyes. So he, there you go, an exchange of views. So he takes the bullets out of his gun, shows them that he means them no harm, but the wolf is, still. I don't look real, does it? Takes bullets out of his gun, and then I think he picks up the silver shovel. Do we see, or does he just smash it with his hand? I can't remember. But he smashes that. He smashes that the model of the development to show that he knows what they want. They don't want that to happen, so he's showing that. So he smashes up that. As they watch, there we go. That's him smashing that up, and that seems enough for him. Start howling as though, yay, that's we won't kill you, oh, and all that. It's quite a cool scene, to be honest. I know I'm not doing it justice, but it's quite a cool scene. But then the security finally arrive with their guns blazing. The wolves, they just like disappear. I think we've see there. This one here just disappear. Look, just disappears into like a will-o'-the-wisp. So are the supernatural? I don't know. Looks like it to me. Tells me, stop shooting and all that. But they've gone anyway, so everything's okay. And Rebecca's fine. That fella's there picking up the silver helmet, realizing what's going on. Cool effect. What if it just disappearing? Yeah, we're all right. Yeah. It was well done, well executed. I think the whole film's well executed, particularly from a director that I think his previous film that he'd done was a film on Woodstock. I think he's got about 3 or 4 credits on IMDb, and I don't think any of them are, apart from this, anything to write home about, to be honest. But I don't know why he didn't do more. There we see the wolf from the Gotterdammerung fella. Anyway, they come out. No, then I think we're cutting back to obviously it's daytime, and Eddie Holt's up doing his I forgot what you called it, buffalo thing. Buffalo. Let's have a look. Maybe back at the beginning. Bull roarer. That's it. Back with his bull roarer. Is it? Yes, he is. Back with his bull roarer. We're seeing the Wolfen running through the streets, back to their hunting grounds, which I presume are safe for the time being. But they can't be forever, can they? They're going to have to move on at some point. They can't stay there forever. But they're back there for now. And I saw that. You know what it reminded me of? The beginning of, and the end of Salem's Lot. Just reminded me of that church in Zimico, Mexico, whatever it was called. Guatemala. Just reminded me of that. But anyway, never mind. And we're seeing the workers on the bridges with the World Trade Center in the background. And I think that's it then. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the film. The end. What happens to the Wolfen? They're still around? Well, obviously they are. Obviously they are. And it's a good film. I really like it. It's jolly good. There's not an end credit scene. I don't think so. Let's have a look. Just make sure. The one on mid Blu-ray anyway. Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's good. I like it. It's a good film. It's well worth watching. Let's get rid of that. Make myself big again. Yeah, it's a good one. Let me adjust that. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Like I say, it's different. It's a different film. Yeah, it's not about werewolves. I think when I first saw it, way back when I was young, I was probably kind of disappointed that it wasn't werewolves. But as I've got older, I've grown to appreciate it more, and I think it's a really good, a classy film. Anyway, someone must hire the Ghostbusters or something. to deal with the Wolfen later, so they could build their. Yeah, they must have done. They must have done. Yeah, but I don't know what happened. Which Ghostbusters team? Well, yeah, not the women. Proper Ghostbusters. Only they could deal with them. Because they were kind of spiritual, because they just disappeared at the end. Well, that one did, not about the others. So yeah, I did. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that film. It's well worth a watch, and you can get the Blu-ray. I've got it here. You can get that on Amazon for not a lot. It's not an expensive one, and it's worth watching. It's worth giving a go. It's a classy film. Like I said, it's kind of got, even though it's an 80s film, it's kind of got that 70s feel to it. Like a bit like a Dirty Harry film, but with wolves in. Joshua said, I have that one at home. Yes, I've got it at home as well. Anyway, right, we'll leave it there. So yes, give Wolfen a go. It's worth it. I think it's on YouTube actually. I think if you look on YouTube, you can buy it on YouTube or rent it on YouTube. I think it'll be on Amazon and all them places. I should imagine. If you want to, on streaming, it'll be on there. But I know it's definitely on YouTube because I've seen it. Hang on, let's have a look. Let's double check. I'm sure I've seen it on YouTube. Right, I'll type in Wolfen. No, not Wolfenstein. Go away. Oh dear. There we go. Yes, hang on. I'll just share that again. There you go. Wolfen, yes. Buy or rent. Don't know how much it is, but yes, it is there. On YouTube, if you want to watch it on YouTube. There we go. So I just thought I'd show you that. Right. We will leave it there. Right. So, thanks for watching. Next week, by the way, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I've ordered the Blu-ray of the film I want to do. But if it doesn't arrive in time, I'm hoping it does. I mean, the Blu-ray I ordered off Amazon is coming from France, of all places. The only one I could find the Blu-ray was coming from France. But not in French, it's in English, don't worry. Well, it's in English and French. But I'll not tell you what it is in case it doesn't arrive in time. So I don't know what I'm doing next week, unless that Blu-ray arrives. Anyway, so we'll leave it there. This Monday is my Monday Moan. Last week, it was supposed to be Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but I didn't get around to watching it. Super busy on Monday, got loads of distractions, never got around to watching it. Anyway, Joshua's giving us suggestions. Brotherhood of the Wolf. Yes, that's a good one. That's a good one. No, it's not that. You're thinking of French, aren't you? No, it's not in French. It's not a French film. It's just coming from France. It's an American film. But yes, that's a good one. We might do that one day, maybe. Cursed. Which one's that one? Because there's Cursed, the one with Christina Ricci. Is there another one? I don't know. Anyway, so my Monday Moan is Ferris Bueller. Monday will be fun. Ferris is my second favourite movie. I started watching it, but like I said, I got interrupted, and like I said, never got to finish watching it. I only got a few minutes in, and it was getting on my nerves. It was really annoying me. But so hopefully I'll make it through it this weekend for Monday. But it's a terrible film. Terrible film. Anyway, but Wolfen isn't. Wolfen is good. So seek it out. And also The Cursed. All right. The Cursed as well. I'm sure there's lots of films called Cursed and The Cursed and Accursed and Incursed. Right. We'll leave it there. So thanks, Joshua, for joining in. And Win Grace. If you go to Win Grace's channel, it's just been monetized. So send him lots of super thanks so he can buy lots of comics. Because that's what he does. He buys comics and tells us all about them, which is cool. Right. I don't know. Have Joshua got have you got a a YouTube channel, Joshua? I've never asked you, have I? Have you? Anyway, if you have, visit Joshua's as well. Maybe he has, I don't know. Right, I'm going now. So, thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other. Don't have nightmares, first of all. Look after each other. And until next time, I'll say I'm sure there was something else I was going to say. Can't remember what it was. It'll come to me. If I remember, I'll put it in the comments. Right. I'm going now. Bye.